Ooh, hopefully I don't do a lot of coughing or hard breathing during this video. But this video is coming to you while I have asthma attacks, so just a heads up. And if you can't figure it out, I'm driving, so basically there I am, but kind of need to leave the light off. Should I do one of these? But yeah, okay. So you guys can just listen to my voice in the middle of the darkness, and occasionally you can see my face when the light hits. Okay, so this video is being made in regards to my sobriety and my program. My sobriety is still I've not relapsed, I have not gone out, nothing like that. What I'm talking about when I say it's about my sobriety is the fact that, like, basically with my sobriety, to make it a better sobriety or a stronger sobriety, it helps if I do certain things. Like go to meetings, go on commitments, share my experience, strength, and hope, tell others about like where I've been, share what's happening with me. Those are all things I do currently at the meetings I attend. The things that I'm not doing right now, which I've not been doing for a few years. So pre-COVID, on Tuesday nights, tonight's a Tuesday, ironically, I belong to a big book meeting. We did not have people coming in to do share their they're doing commitments where they share their experience, strength, and hope. Instead, the way that we did it was we read through the big book. If you're not familiar with AA, you might not totally be grasping this video. If you are familiar with AA, NAGA, anyone that uses a big book as part of their program of recovery of whatever substance they use, you might have an idea what I'm referencing here during this video. So basically, Tuesday night was a big book meeting. We read the first 164 pages with also the spiritual awakening and the Fords, and one more, and the doctors, and Dr. Bob's story. Hold on a second. Break a nail. Okay, hold on. Cold water. Alright, so basically, with that, we would read those pages, and as we would read, the way that this particular meeting ran was, it didn't matter if, basically, how long, if we took a year going through the first 164 pages, then fine. If it was 3 months, fine, it didn't matter. As long as we were going through and people in the meeting were getting information out of the book, like basically tidbits, like experiences from other people. We didn't have a set schedule being like, during the month of January we read the first chapter and we go through this and we have like blah 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 blah, because we met weekly. So it just basically it varied between how many people showed up to the meeting, how many people actually decided to chime in with what they were reading or what was going on and what they needed to talk about. So it just every week was different, which was nice. It was the same, but it was different, if that makes any sense, or if you can understand what I mean by that. So, but what was good was that when we would read a section, if a paragraph was read or 2 lines were read, and either you had a question or you identified about something we just read, you would raise your hand. The chair people up in the front would call you. You would then share whatever it was about the reading, or like whatever it was, like you would share. And then basically, if someone else identified or could relate or whatever, they would share. So again, it all really depended on if it was a trickle down effect Or if it was a one person and then we went back to the reading after, say, like a minute and no one's saying anything, and then we would carry on type thing. It really always just changed. Or if you had a question, we were totally okay with if you were new or old, like meaning been around the program for a few 24 hours, but maybe you've never been to a big book meeting. Maybe you never like gone through this at all. You only did other style of meetings. Maybe you were technically sober, but you never like went to meetings or whatever. So everything you were reading for the first time was absolutely new. And if you had a question about, because the thing is that the big book is initially, because they're coming out with a 5th edition. I'm not totally cool with it, but that's my opinion. My opinion is my opinion. I'm allowed to have my opinion. But it was voted by the elders, and not even the elders. It was voted by the groups and the GSRs and all that and everything like that. And it happened. Change happens on occasion. But the way that the last 4 editions have been is that basically the first 164 pages of the big book have stayed the same with 1 or 2 little minor tweaks. And from my understanding, it was the first edition to the 2nd edition. It was just some little like things that got changed, like a word here and a word there, but nothing so dramatic that it changed the whole concept of a paragraph or anything like that. And I could be slightly wrong right now because I am driving, and I am also, it's been a minute and a half since I've gone through the big book, so I could be wrong. Look at that. I admit that I don't know everything. So yeah, but this is from what I remember and all this and what my past was with this group and stuff like that. So say we're reading the prefaces, the forwards and stuff like that, and like someone asked, because like what I was trying to say was that the big book was initially written in 1935. We know the program is from 1935, somewhere around that time. The big book and the meetings and the program have been around for 80 something years, pushing 90. So there are words in there that today, if you were to ask someone who is 25 years old today, never read the big book, has no context of what the sentence structure is, or even if they did, they might believe that that particular word means something totally different than what the actual word is. So there are words that are like that. But the thing is, though, the way it was written, if you aren't sure and you ask that question, they're usually in a meeting like this, there were people that have been around for a few 24 hours that basically have gone through this and had someone else before them that explained it and taught them so they could carry the message of what was supposed to be. I've also acquired through a good friend of mine who unfortunately is no longer alive because unfortunately his health took him out, not the disease. When I was a few years sober, for an anniversary, he got me the study guide edition of the big book. Like I have the blue books of AA, the big books of AA. Like I have those, and those are great. But when you're first new, it really sucks that like basically you're trying to like micro write like little like novels of like identifications in like the side panels and stuff like that. So the study guide is that it's like 1 page of the big book is on one side and then lines are on the other. So that way if you identify, you can like have stuff written on the side. Also, my study guide book has basically crib notes about like terms, sayings, like people, places that are referenced in the big book that are from a whole nother time. And there's also a dictionary in the back, so that way if there's a word that like sober, for example, or gay, like today in most people, when they hear the word gay, they think flamboyant, they think homosexual. Like that is not the way that the content of the book is with that word. It means like happy, joyous, free, like that type of gay, which that's what a thesaurus is for. Like basically Like, so you like have one word and you can do it, but like a lot of people don't use those today. But so like the back of my book has about like I think 10 pages or so that it has particular words, not every single word in the book, but like certain key words that have like, it has words that mean one particular thing in there. So if you aren't sure, you can then go look them up and you can then be like, oh, that's what that's supposed to mean. And then you can reread the sentence, because this is how it worked for me, is that basically like if I would learn a new word, like this word means this, whatever, and then I'd go back and reread the sentence with the understanding of what that word actually means. Because I don't know about you, but if the content of the sentence and a misunderstanding of the word, they can literally, like with the proper meaning and the wrong meaning, can totally change the whole dynamic of a sentence structure, because it can mean one thing or another. Simple as that. So like that was what was fabulous about this group. And it was my home group for many years. I think about 8 years, because I'm coming up to, I have about 13 and a half years of sobriety now. August will be 14, God willing. But like many people, I only have today, because like lately I'm a psychotic biatch right now. I definitely need to do the steps again. Like this is what I'm lacking. Like I'm lacking working the steps to the best of my ability. I am half-assing the steps right now. I am not picking up a drink. Yeah, that's great. I am holding myself accountable for my actions, but am I apologizing for every single thing? Not exactly. Unless I'm called down on it, then I might. Like there was a situation today that happened, and I honestly did not understand. I did not realize that the delivery I said came across to the other person as rude. After she said it, I could clearly see it, but my intentions were not that, nor like it was just me trying to say something, and my delivery really sucked and everything like that. And when she said it, then I could be like, oh, I'm sorry. And I actually shared about this at the commitment we just were on. Like apparently I've grown up on the fact that it's better to ask for forgiveness after you do something than it is like basically before. Like, so, and what's actually even funnier is I was just talking to Rick today about the way you can say something can be totally perceived in two different ways. Like if you go nice about it, your delivery, versus your rude. So it's just funny that I can preach to other people about the way things should be, or how you should be a better person and everything like that, but I can't even follow my own instructions or my own advice, because I'm like legit not working my program to the best of my ability. I'm not going through doing a thorough 4th and 5th step. Like there's just some basic stuff that I'm overdue for and I need to do. The problem though is I might be very aware that I need to do these things, but it's a we program. I need someone else to work with me to get this through. I can't do this on my own. Like I can't read the big book by myself, even though people are like, oh, you could pick up a book and just read it. The problem though, again, is the contents, the sentence structures. Like I can read that book and I can literally read the blue version that doesn't have the definitions in it, and I can read it. I can think that that sentence means one thing, and then I can go running off and like basically with the delusion of that, and then I could go spread the mess. I'm already probably spreading the mess, to be honest. So yeah, this is also me just holding myself accountable and stuff. So basically, I'm so lacking a big book meeting. Like it's been about 5 years since I've had a big book meeting regularly in my life. And yes, they're on Zoom and stuff like that. But the big issue is I work better present, like in the meeting, like having the book there, like hands-on. Zoom meetings, I can be at home and doing 14 other freaking things and being disconnected still. Better to be held accountable in a meeting than it is outside. And I have about 1.5 minutes left of this video. So basically, I did find a meeting close to home on Friday night. It's just going to be interesting to see how I can pull this off. Good thing is I do have FMLA that is for recovery also, so which is good. And I might have to be using that. Like basically, it is what it is. My sobriety, my life, my like I know what would happen if I picked up a drink again, regardless if it happened immediately or down the road. My life would go up in flames very quickly, and I do not want that to happen in any way, shape, or form. So like, I am absolutely very aware. It's just finding a person to be my sponsor, find the big book meetings. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else can identify or anything like that. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna shut up because I have about like 30 seconds left. And otherwise than that, hope you guys have a good night. Bye. Oh, like, share, subscribe, all those good things. And hey, if you're going through what I'm going through, please share. If you're watching it on TV, you can't. You need to go to your computer or your phone and do comments. All right. Bye, guys.